Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Big Apple School podcast, where the goal of this show is to help you improve your English skills through listening. My name is Benjamin, and today we have three guests. Our first guest being
Ken from the Philippines.
Second guest,
Katya.
And last but not least,
Varya.
Excellent. And today we're going to talk about the subject of teeth. You may not think of teeth as being a particularly interesting subject, but it really is. There is so much to talk about.
I mean, we're all adults here. We all have stories to tell, you know.
Exactly. Well, let's get started. What things would you say are bad for your teeth?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Well, examples are, sweets, candies, of course, because they can cause tooth decay.
Mm-hmm. And what about the candy causes tooth decay?
Well, it has sugar.
And how does the sugar cause?
It breaks down, basically. I mean, it contains some, any
sugary
technical
stuff.
Yeah, technical term for that, but
Does the decay occur when the sugar is in your mouth, or does it occur when it's inside your stomach and it destroys the teeth from your stomach?
I think it's more like a direct contact to your teeth.
That's why the dentists always say, like, make sure to brush your teeth, to use the floss, because usually it's the particles of food, not only sugar, I guess, that get stuck to your teeth and that you don't clean well. So they kind of get inside, and then from there, they do the job.
Yeah.
Do the nasty job.
And there must be some foods that are good for your teeth. I would say
like apples and carrots that
yes,
are kind of clean them, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Is it because the apple, you have to bite
I
into
think so.
the apple?
I think it is.
And it strengthens your teeth. Well, you've owned a lot of cats. We've spoken about this before. And the cats, they eat meat, and the meat cleans their teeth.
Oh, I don't think so. Cats, as well as other animals, have to have their teeth cleaned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can't just be done naturally. Unfortunately, I wasn't raised like that, so I never knew that myself.
Oh, okay.
Until after all the cats were gone, I thought, I should have cleaned their teeth.
Yeah. Well, how would you clean it, with a toothbrush?
Well, toothbrush or go to the vet, because they do lose their teeth, and I had cats that lost their little fingers.
Oh, that's not very nice. Yeah. So, yeah, because they need their teeth, or else they can't eat soup or drink soup. So yeah. How did people clean their teeth before we had toothpaste?
Charcoal. I think a lot of people use charcoal. Twigs.
Twigs for
think
sure.
about like back in history.
Well, even today, a lot of cultures use twigs, and they don't use toothbrushes and toothpaste.
That's actually another vegan trend as well. Like there are twigs. You don't use them, you don't replace the toothbrushes with them, but you kind of use it as an additional tool to have healthier teeth.
You're calling them twigs, and in my vocabulary, twigs are from the branches.
Yes.
You're talking
Literally.
about that.
Yeah, twigs.
Literally a part of a tree. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that if you have some kind of dental work being done, like some kind of cavity that was filled, you can't be poking around with a twig because you can loosen it.
You see, that's why while they were discussing this, I was thinking, like, how effective can that be? Like, how can you properly clean your teeth with
As far
twigs?
as I know, it's not like a very thick twig, so you kind of chew on it first to make it softer, and then you kind of like try to brush your teeth with that.
So I think, how do you get in between the teeth with a twig? I guess you need
don't.
Yeah, the plastic ones are better. I think that's
Right.
what has been recommended by my dentist, is the plastic thin ones.
Well, does everyone use dental floss?
Yes.
Yep.
From time to time, yes.
I use the water floss.
The water picks. Yeah, the water picks. I actually bought one of these machines when I lived in America, and it was so difficult to use. The water splashed everywhere.
Oh yeah. It takes some time to get used to that. Yeah. Although my dentist recently told me that you do know that it's not to replace the usual floss with. You still have to floss. I'm like, it's literally called water floss. He's like, yeah, it's like an additional tool.
I don't
Just to
know.
make
I
sure.
don't know. I think that's just to make some money.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But I mean, floss doesn't cost much. I mean, the usual floss. He
Right.
just said, like, please make sure to floss, from time to time.
Yeah. Well, I use these plastic toothpicks with the bristles on them. Does anyone use those?
It's like a floss like some
It's so bristles. So bristles, for our listeners, they are the little hairs on a toothbrush. So, yeah, the little hair. So this toothpick is like a plastic stick, which has kind of bristles, like not hairs, but little things that stick out at the end, and you can get between your teeth, and you can get all sorts of stuff out of there. Do you prefer floss to toothpicks?
Yes, floss to toothpicks.
And why would toothpicks not? I mean, I'm just interested.
The plastic ones I think are good, but I couldn't find them here.
Yeah.
And so I stopped using them. Mm-hmm. And so I just floss, but I floss so many times a day.
Oh, really?
Yes,
wow.
yes. Before I go out, I always floss. Before I go to bed, I always floss.
Oh, that's goals.
Now, if I stay home, then I won't floss except for morning and night.
Would you say that flossing is actually more important than brushing your teeth?
No.
I would say so, because you get all the stuff out between your teeth.
But then you have the
What about the
front?
enamel?
The actual tooth.
the white part of the teeth.
I think in this case, you can't say this is more important than that. Only in combination, you can reach the perfect result, healthy teeth and everything.
Yeah.
White and clean.
Yeah. Well, do you think humans were designed to have teeth that would last, I don't know, 90 years or whatever the average life expectancy is? How long are teeth meant? How long?
I actually have a lot of questions to evolution.
Yeah.
Like, come on, step up your game.
Yeah. Well,
when you dig up somebody, they still have their teeth in their hair.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, hair lasts for ages.
Yeah, and teeth do too.
Yeah. Well, in the older days, let's say pre-1900s, when did people lose their teeth? When did people have problems with their teeth like we do in our modern age of sugar?
Come again?
Did people in pre-20th century, did people have problems with their teeth like people have today?
I mean, come on, teeth are really sensitive, So you eat the wrong thing, you don't brush it well, that's it, you got problems easily. So of course, back in the day with the hygiene like that, of course they had the problems.
Of course they had problems, but do you think cavities were as big of a problem as they are today?
Of course. They just dealt with them in a different way.
Just pull the tooth.
Yeah, out goes the tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how would you deal with tooth pain if you, let's say, couldn't afford to go to the dentist? How would you?
You have to go to the dentist. There's just
That's
no
the
other
first
way,
thing that
All of us do.
I would do. Yeah.
I'm too scared of a dentist.
Really?
Personally. Yeah,
Why?
we're going to talk about that. Well, I've had some scarier stories at the dentist. I once had, do you know what lidocaine is?
Yeah.
Lidocaine is the anesthesia that is administered to patients. And I had a seizure because I had too much
Are you allergic?
lidocaine. So I can't have lidocaine when I go to the dentist. So
I want to understand, where does the fear come from?
it comes from that. It comes
I
from,
mean,
yeah.
you have to just contact the clinic beforehand and ask if they have any other type of anesthesia. Because now
I
there are...
don't think there is any other type of anesthesia for that. You just have to, we have this
It
expression.
can't be. No, there has to be. I mean, think about people who are allergic to, for example, if we talk about anesthesia, it can be local.
Yeah.
And what is the opposite of
General.
general?
Yeah, general.
So general anesthesia is not lidocaine.
Yeah.
So there must be some
Yeah,
other
I've never heard of that.
alternatives.
So
Yeah.
there's definitely other kinds.
Well,
There
yeah.
must be.
Well, nonetheless, I'm still terrified of a dentist and I haven't been for such a long
apart
time.
from him, anybody else here who's scared of going to the dentist?
You have to have a really good dentist and put all your faith, which I had in the United States.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
And we're going to compare American dentistry to Russian
If we talk about
dentistry soon.
fear, I have to say that I am afraid of the bill that comes after.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the
my
process.
goodness.
Okay.
I am
yeah.
not afraid of the process at all because I've had all sorts of dental procedures
Yeah.
and surgeries and everything. Didn't feel a single thing. I mean, afterwards, when the anesthesia was wearing off, oh God, yeah, that was painful. But the bill, it was always like, okay.
Yeah, we're also going to discuss
the scariest
that.
part.
Yeah. But you're not scared of the actual tools themselves and
No.
drills
No,
and
not
that
at all.
Here
stuff.
I am in Russia, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Oh, you
Because
are?
I don't completely trust the dentists here because they're not really dentists. They're really young, inexperienced, have nice technology, But of course, I don't speak their language. But I miss my dentist
All right.
very much.
Maybe because it's just the language barrier. Because I've been to the dentist here, and he was really good, and he can also speak English well.
I want an
Although
experienced one who's been around for a while, a couple of decades.
Well, I understand because my dentist, he's kind of young, but
You know,
I would
it's
say
actually
knowledgeable.
another debatable point. Like,
We're going to come. Yeah.
like more experience. Are elder doctors always better or not? Because sometimes they kind of are more narrow-minded. They don't want to try the new technology
They're
and everything.
stuck to their old
So-
knowledge.
Oh, I don't think so because they're supposed to go and they put that on their resume. I go to a seminar every year.
They're supposed to, but do they?
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you choose a doctor, you can always have a look at how many years of experience they have. So you can actually choose like on websites and everything. So you can always find someone with like 20, 25 years of experience.
Well, I've got a question for you guys. So if you lived nearby a university, where a dental university or a university that has experience of hospitals, etc., you can get a big reduction on your dental bill. Would you ever go to a
I've
student
done
dentist?
it, and they're inexperienced.
Oh, you have? You've
yes,
been
they're
to
inexperienced. No.
Was this in the States?
Yes.
So what happened?
Well, nothing happened. That was the point. Nothing happened. Did you clean it or what? Yeah.
You know what? I think that if I was in the US, I would probably do that just because usually I have a very, not a good insurance, which wouldn't cover dental care. So if I had an emergency, a dental emergency, and I didn't have enough money, I would go for it. Here, no. No.
Fair enough. Well, another question. What do you think about DIY dentist kits? Have you ever come across these before? So in the UK, apparently in some supermarkets, you can buy a special kit which can help you heal your tooth. Or if you have a cavity, you can fill the cavity yourself by biting down on this kit. Would you ever use
It's
one?
like a legit.
It's legit. It's in supermarkets and it's approved by the authorities, the health authorities. Would you ever use one of these kits?
Hell no.
Why not?
Well, personally, I wouldn't because I'm not an expert of teeth and I'd rather have someone who knows better than me to examine everything because who knows? Okay, it might be cheaper, sure, but I want safety.
Yeah, it's a money-making gimmick. I do believe that. I don't think.
Well,
Agree.
even if the bill was $20,000, I guess could you ever have a bill of $20,000?
Well, my bill would usually be like $5,000.
Okay, that's huge. It's
That's
absolutely huge.
huge.
Yeah, just imagine. Yeah, $5,000 is a lot of money in America,
1
but
to
for
5.
Russia, that's like a
Like a
different.
kidney, yeah.
Yes, literally like a kidney. Yeah, I believe in China you can sell your kidney for like $3,000.
I'm not going to ask you why you know this information, but okay.
Yeah, I was desperate one day, and I'm joking.
But yeah, about these DIY kits, self-medication is never good. So you can just, bring more problems to yourself
Yeah.
by self-medication. So don't do that.
Okay. So no one likes the dental.
No, do not do that.
I mean, even when we go to doctors, we try to find the most experienced ones, the one we trust. And then go and do it yourself? No.
Good luck.
I guess with dentistry, you don't have as many differing opinions as you would do, let's say, if you go to a specialist for other conditions. Because some doctors, you need to get a second opinion quite often because some doctors have differing opinions. Whereas I guess dentists have a more
Oh, no, you do have to
universal.
have like a second opinion, especially when it comes to braces, fixing things and everything, or some surgeries. You might want to get a second opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get started with our childhoods. Let's talk about our childhoods and our experiences with teeth. So can anyone remember having their teeth being pulled out as a kid?
I did it on my own.
Yep.
Because I was told that you can actually do it. And I was just a little boy and I thought, okay, why not do it myself? But I had to do it gently because I was afraid that, that blood will splurt. And, I just had to be really careful about it. And fortunately for me, I did. And I was even happy that, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. I did it without the help of a dentist.
Yeah. So you wobbled out your tooth. By the way, for our listeners, the verb to wobble means to move your tooth. So kind of like shatatsu.
Exactly. And it took a while. It wasn't like instantly. So I had to also feel it like, is it ready to go now? Yeah. I think it's time. 5, 4, 3, and then boom, it was out.
So Katia, how did you remove your teeth? Was there a special story?
Not really. I mean, when you mean like the milky teeth?
Yeah, so we call milk teeth or baby teeth. You can say, I believe that's
baby
correct.
teeth.
Yeah, you can say baby teeth or milk teeth. Yeah, I've heard both.
So with baby teeth, no stories, but with dental care in childhood in general, oh yes. Can I say that now?
Yeah, please, yeah.
So the thing is that I was growing up in Yakutia, which is, a very remote place.
Yeah.
So in general, to be able to make an appointment with the dentist, we had to wake up at like 4 a.m., go stand in line, and then get, a special appointment on.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you can get to the dentist the same day.
You mean like the appointment slips, like which they give out at the...
Yes, the slips.
Yeah.
So, and then it's a very traumatic experience and memory, because the thing is that when they were, helping with the teeth and everything, and treating the teeth, I had to have a nerve extracted. And back in the day in Yakutia, they would do that. They would put arsenic onto your
rat
tooth.
Poison, yeah.
Exactly. So then you would go home. 2 days later, you would come back and they would be able to actually extract the nerve, because the nerve would be dead because it's arsenic in your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And I still remember this needle go into my teeth and they kind of roll it and the nerve gets onto it. And despite, having had arsenic in my mouth for like 2 days, it was still so painful. So painful.
Horrible.
Yeah. Now, of course, nobody would use that. It's like barbaric ways, but they
Weren't you
amazing.
traumatized by it?
Oh, deeply. After that, going to the dentist, like, oh my God, no. I only managed to actually make an appointment myself when I was like 17, 18. I was like, okay, now I think I'm ready. And also I can't put it off any longer.
Yes.
So, but it was free.
I'm just intrigued how they kept the arsenic in your mouth. So they drilled a hole through your tooth, put the arsenic inside the hole, and then covered the hole, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because you don't just have arsenic floating around your mouth.
No. They kind of, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that would definitely kill you.
So now, which is why now when I think like, oh, my tooth aches, I'm like, no, wait, it can't ache. There is no nerve. So I have about like 4 or 5 spots where there's no nerve.
Oh my.
At all.
Oh my. That's pretty.
So the result of, not Soviet, but dental care back in the day.
Yeah. So, can you remember your milk teeth or baby teeth?
I guess the normal way would be, the dramatic way would be put a string around your tooth.
Yes.
And then connect it to a door.
I believe I did that a couple of times, yeah.
But it didn't work for me. I remember taking a pair of pliers and pulling it out. I wasn't like, Ken, wobble, is it ready? I just took a pair of pliers. And when one time in 6th grade, which I was 11, a friend complained about having her tooth. I said, well, I'll bring my pliers tomorrow. And so I did. And then the teacher saw me with the pliers and goes, you're not going to take her tooth out. And so he stopped me.
Yeah.
Good thing, I think.
Oh, wait. So you used the pliers yourself? Your parents didn't do it?
I did it myself.
Yeah.
I was unsupervised, so I was wild. I was a wild child, so I did what I wanted to do.
So what did you do? Did you just grip something hard with your hand and then just got the
pair of pliers?
Yeah.
And
no, I mean with your other hand. Did you grip something hard and just pull it out with your other hand?
Because it was ready to go. It was ready. It was
Hardcore.
wobbly. It was wobbly. Yeah.
Oh, so it just slid out.
Yeah, it was wobbly enough.
Yeah. By the way, to slide out, slid is the 3rd form of the verb to slide. So, yeah, no, I had mostly a wobbly experience with like Ken did, but I remember a couple of times I did the dental floss on the door. It didn't really work at first.
Yeah, I think maybe it's
So,
it might be just a myth because I don't know about that.
So for those of you who don't know, so what you do with the door is you tie some dental floss to your tooth, around the tooth, and then you tie the dental floss to the door handle, and then you shut the door really hard.
Yeah, and I don't know if it works for anybody. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I recently saw a video on Instagram, where they did the same thing, but only instead of a door, they kind of tied it to a dog and the dog just ran away and off went the tooth. And the kid was like, the first seconds of shock, ready to cry. But then, the whole absurdity of situation kind of made the kid laugh.
That's funny.
So if you have a dog,
Or you can do it with cars as well, I guess.
Oh,
A car would
it's
probably be the
extreme.
best one, yeah, because it's just quick and does it. But the dental floss doesn't normally hold. It doesn't. Yeah,
I
hold
didn't know
out.
it was dental floss. We just said string. It was
String,
back in the
yeah.
day where
String.
you can't afford dental floss. You're supposed to- yeah, I got the
Luxury.
string. yeah.
Am I right in saying that dental floss contains some silver? Maybe
I'm
that's
not
why it's
sure
quite
about
expensive. Maybe it does.
never heard about that.
Yeah. So, who had the tooth fairy as a kid? Did you
yeah.
have the tooth fairy? Well, Ken.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I definitely
Varya.
had the tooth fairy. It was quite a fun experience. I remember once I woke up and realized my dad was the tooth fairy.
You should have said something like, "Tooth Fairy couldn't come, but he sent me a message. He sent me a message,
Yeah.
So
So the tooth fairy, I'd say it's more of an American tradition. Maybe in the UK. Or I'd say because my mother's American and
It's probably some old European.
maybe it is European.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tooth Fairy, in Terry Pratchett's books, there is a character, so it's definitely been
Oh,
there
okay.
a while.
So it's not an American tradition.
No,
it's
I think it's
a
old
European
Europe.
and American. Yeah. So I remember, receiving some coins under my pillow, and I believe my mother still keeps my baby teeth at home. Yeah,
To
she has.
this day.
Yes, there's a
Wow.
jar of them. It's quite
Not
creepy.
at all
but-
creepy, yeah.
it is a little creepy,
You
but
think
it's
it's
pretty
creepy?
cool. I think it's fun. It's cool to look at.
Yeah, that's
Creepy,
what we
but it's
do.
fun.
I
we
don't
keep your
know.
teeth.
It's like a little momentum,
Yeah.
a memory of,
Okay.
It's like a lock of hair or your baby tooth.
yeah. Well, so
Okay,
what did you
why
do with your
not?
baby teeth? Did you just eat them?
No, like throw away.
You throw them away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
Ken, did you have a Tooth Fairy? So did you find a coin under your pillow?
actually, no. That's why it's kind of sad. I didn't experience any of that. Sad story.
So in the Philippines, does this, do people,
I don't
this
think
tradition?
it's something that we have. I mean, except for the elites, like the rich families, but for middle class, I don't think so. No.
yeah. Well, is there any kind of tradition surrounding teeth in the Philippines? Is there any cultural thing?
Well, nothing to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Same in Russia, nothing.
And did you have any experience with Zubnaya Feya, the tooth fairy?
I mean, I didn't even know about this sort of, character until I was like in my late teen years when I started reading, some fantasy books or something. It's not a thing here.
yeah.
Maybe, some people might start it, the young parents.
Mm-hmm.
So they might start it, but all in all, no.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's move on to fillings. So obviously Katya has some fillings. I have one filling.
For me, it's easier to point at teeth that don't have fillings. Thanks, Mom.
Well, you only know if you have fillings if the fillings are silver. Like back in the day, that's what color they were, made out of silver.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, they're supposed to blend in with your teeth. So
Right.
I couldn't count my fillings because I've forgotten.
Mm-hmm. So, well, how many fillings have you had?
I think 3.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's not very many.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've only had one filling.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Katya and I, we can't keep track of ours.
Oh
Yeah,
my
really.
God, really.
Like when I said that it's easier to point out, the teeth that don't have, I was not
Yeah.
joking. It was not exaggeration. Like even the front teeth, I have the fillings.
Yeah.
But
oh,
again-
the front teeth.
Oh yeah, like these, the
Wow.
first and the seconds. Yeah, I do have fillings in between them.
Oh, wow.
Bad. I blame my mom. No offense, but so the thing is that back in the day, in the Soviet times, so when a woman was pregnant, she was obliged, so it's mandatory to have all your teeth fixed, to go to the dentist. So it was just mandatory, and the medical care was free. So, and that was my sister who was born in 1987. So she has perfect teeth. She has one single filling, one.
Oh, wow.
So when the Soviet Union fell apart, of course, nobody cared about, all that anymore. People had other problems like, survival and all that. So nobody cared anymore. So when my mom got pregnant with me, she didn't go to a dentist a single time. She's afraid, she's terrified of dentists. So, and of course, she didn't have the full medical check and everything. So she didn't take care of her calcium and whatnot. So that's why I was born with really weak teeth.
Mm-hmm.
that explains.
So as a result, and then you can imagine, I was living in the far north.
Yeah.
No fruit, no veggies. You might have some veggies in the summer. That's not enough. So of course, without all this sufficient, amount of vitamins, the teeth, they just go so bad.
Yeah, they rot away.
My mom, she's still terrified. I'm like, do you want us? And my sister and I, we even offered to pay for her dental care, but she's just terrified of that. So that's why she has lost so many teeth already. I'm like, Mom.
Well, how can you alleviate someone's fears of a dentist? What can you do to calm someone down?
Well, I don't know. I was disciplined very quickly. I remember the first time I went to the dentist, I was about 6, and I whimpered. So I made a sound like, and he said, "Shut up." And so I did.
That's tough love.
And so now I keep very quiet when I'm at the dentist. I don't whimper. I keep all the pain inside me.
I think nowadays it's just the matter of like, just try and go. Because let's say a friend of mine, she was terrified of dentists, because childhood trauma, all that. But now when she went to a private clinic and she's like, and everyone's like, the doctors and everyone, like, are you feeling okay? How are we doing? Are you comfortable? Do you need anything? And before that, like, do you want some tea, coffee? She's like, wow, if I had known, these things are like that. Right now.
Well, I would say that because I've always had a man dentist. And when I came here, I've always had a women, what I call dentists. I guess they're dentists. But they have such a gentle touch. And there's like, wow, and they have little fingers in your mouth too. It's like, oh, it's so nice having a feminine woman dentist.
Yeah. So you feel it would be better if more women trained
Yes, I think
to become dentists, yeah.
It's just a very hard job as well, so...
Oh, we're going to talk about that, yeah. We're going to get to that. So fillings, we've talked about that. What about wisdom teeth? I have still never had my wisdom teeth removed. I don't even know if I have wisdom teeth.
I mean, if they're growing and they're growing well and you have no problem, so why would you?
Well, I'm 30 years old and I thought that usually by the time...
No, I mean, if
25.
they're already there, just say thank you to whatever you believe in.
Well, the idea is because they're so far back in your mouth that it's hard to clean behind them.
Right.
And that's the reason that you're supposed to remove them. But maybe the dentists just like to pull teeth, because I kind of wish I didn't have some of my wisdom teeth pulled. I wish.
So did you have only a few? Did you not have all 4?
Out of, I guess we're supposed to have 4, and I don't know how many. I mean, I don't want to stick my finger in now, but I know I haven't had all of them. And I kind of regret having the others. I don't think there's a reason to pull my teeth.
So they weren't pushing against your
No, they
other
weren't.
molars, the molars being the teeth, which are the
bigger
teeth.
ones.
Yes.
Right.
And then you have incisors, which are kind of at the front. But yeah, so they weren't pushing against your molars. Yeah.
Ken?
So yeah.
Well, mine, they were pulled definitely. Just the lower row of teeth. But I'm okay with that because now I can chew better and I don't see any problem there.
Do you still have your top?
The upper
wisdom
ones,
teeth?
yeah.
The upper ones?
But they don't cause any problem at all. It's like,
Oh, lucky you.
unlike the lower row of teeth.
Oh, lucky you.
And what was the operation like? Was it?
I was asleep.
Oh, so they put
So
you
it
onto
had the
general. Yeah, the general. Yeah.
So I don't know. When it was done, I thought, okay, it's done. Okay. So you see, I don't even have any recollection. All I remember is going there. I was, administered this and
did they
ta-da,
give you
that
an
was done.
injection or was it the face mask? Was it the gas?
It was an injection.
I
and
mean, the
by the
face
way,
mask, they need the access to the teeth. So
No, I mean what they normally do. I believe dentists use, what is it? Is it what gas is it? Do you know? Quite a lot of dentists use a specific gas.
What is it,
and
nitrogen?
maybe it is nitrous, not nitrous oxide. No, I'm not a chemist, but they put you to sleep with a gas, and yeah, so it was with an injection. How quickly were you sedated?
well, that's a good question because I really can't remember.
Oh, so it was like a long time.
So which means
Yeah,
that it
it
was a
was a long
good job
time.
of the anesthesiologist.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, how old were you roughly?
How old was I? Early teens.
Oh, in your teens you
Oh.
had your wisdom teeth.
I would say, yeah.
So you must have been very wise as a kid.
Because of Muslim.
So I'm 30 and I still haven't reached. Yeah. So how old were you, Katy?
Am I the only one?
Oh, I have a lot of stories about my wisdom teeth because I had all of them removed, all four of them. So I think about 7-8 years ago, I had one of my upper wisdom teeth removed because it was not pushing against the molars, but it was kind of cutting through my cheek.
Yeah.
So it was like bad. 5 minutes, done.
5 minutes?
Literally. It takes, trust me, once the anesthesia, kicks in, from 2 to 5 minutes, you're done. You don't feel a single thing. And then after that, 1 hour later, you can already eat, drink.
Nice.
So same with the other upper wisdom teeth, but with the lower ones. Oh, that was fun. So the thing is that my lower wisdom teeth, they were pushing against the molars and they were growing not vertically, but horizontally.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Rebels. So, and the thing is that I remember it was 5 days before I had to leave for the US, and one of them started to cause problems. So it was swollen and everything. I called one of the clinics. They're like, yeah, you can come in now. So it took about 30 minutes. It was totally fine, but it was really painful afterwards when the anesthesia was wearing off. Like that was problematic. And you can imagine. So the thing is that I couldn't come for the next visit 6-7 days later because I was leaving for the US. So they couldn't take the stitches off. They just said, oh, okay, they'll just fall off. You go, you can go. But the whole of my flight, I had, swollen cheek. I asked for ice, constantly just to apply to the cheek and everything. And I was so afraid that my stitches can just go, what do you call that?
I would say to unstitch, maybe.
Unstitch.
To come apart.
Yeah, it was okay though. And then my last lower wisdom tooth, I had it removed 2 years ago. And it was bad. I mean, the process again, it was okay. It took 40 minutes, but in one visit, I had my lower wisdom tooth removed, and not just removed. They had to cut through my gums, cut through everything to saw with a mini saw, the tooth itself, pull it out. During the same visit, I had my molar removed and an implant, a metal implant implanted, basically, all in one visit. Took 40 minutes.
Only 40 minutes?
It was 40. I have a very professional dentist. He's really cool. Even though he's young, he's like 35 or something. But since it was a major dental surgery, the next day was horrible. I had a fever of like 39.
Yeah.
I was on antibiotics and everything.
Well, I guess because your body is trying to protect.
Of course.
It's trying to kill off any germs.
And then you have, like a metal thing in your gum. And only on the 5th day, I was able to eat some mashed potatoes. Before that, it was water or just some yogurts. That's it. So...
To be honest, I'm just really interested. How much dental work have you had through the years? Like
a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
I mean, I've had about, 4. I had my teeth removed 5-6 times.
Wow.
I have an implant. I have a crown. I have hell of a lot of fillings. So, and then you have to, get back and redo the fillings once every several years. Because I was not lucky with the dentist back then. So a lot, trust me, a lot. And it's still not done. The amount of work I need to do to finish all that is about another 100,000 rubles.
Yeah, not cheap.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
So take care of your teeth, people, and teach your kids too. And if you're planning to have a kid, please go to a dentist.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about cosmetic dentistry. So in America, a lot of people have braces. Did you have braces as a kid?
I didn't have any braces.
Oh, really? Would you say it's it's almost part of American culture to get braces?
Yeah, well, you had to if you had really crooked teeth. I remember a lot of my friends or classmates would have braces.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, so lucky. So you never had crooked teeth? Or...
No, I do have crooked teeth, but I just never had braces.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Because it's painful. I know.
Really?
Did you have...
because it's quite common in the Philippines, but my teeth are, relatively okay. But I remember as a kid, I would get envious of other kids because I thought, oh my God, that's so colorful. I want one too. And then I would say that to my grandma and she would say, no, you don't need this. So, just be happy that your teeth are healthy. But But they're cool.
Yeah.
But no, never had any braces at all. But I wish I had, you know.
Yeah. What about you, Katya?
I really needed the braces, but the thing is that my family couldn't afford that, so I never did.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's not something I recommend. Luckily, I did not have metal braces. My neighbor was actually a dentist, a really professional, good guy, and he gave me these. They're called Invisalign. It's the name of a company, and they are these plastic braces.
Aligners, I think.
Aligners, I think.
Aligners.
I'm not. It's
really common
word.
these days.
Yeah, and he was very kind, and he helped me out with this, but it was so painful. The shifting of your teeth,
Of course.
constant headaches, and to be honest,
the thing is that you don't do that only for the aesthetic reason. Because, for example, I have a friend.
Yeah.
And since the, what do you call it? The way your teeth are. It's not a. What do you call it?
Right.
Like the way they are situated. What is the word for that?
The way they, I don't know, the way they sit, the way
they're
positioned.
yeah, it's a technical thing. Yeah.
So, and the thing is that because of the way her teeth were, let's say, situated or sitting or something.
The way their teeth grew out. Yeah, the way her teeth grew out.
So she
came
had
through to come. Yeah.
constant pain in the jaw lines, the headache,
Yeah.
and in general, you know, a lot of pain. And because of, I have no idea how exactly that's related, but she even had some back pain, and her posture, you know, like the shoulders and everything were different. And when she tried to fix the posture, it turned out that it's all because of the teeth.
That's severe.
like, what?
It is true. I've heard that each tooth is linked to an organ in the body. Do you know anything about this?
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that one is linked to the kidneys. Yeah, there is some kind of, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's
So in this case,
pseudoscience.
it's just like physical connection, you know, because your teeth are moving, they're shifting and everything, and then the jawline changes and everything, and then it affects the neck, it affects the shoulders. And I was really shocked to see the final result after 3 years of her wearing braces. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like massive difference. Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah. I wasn't as disciplined with my braces, and I've got a little gap between my two front teeth.
I love gaps.
But I don't mind it.
I love those.
Actually,
Well,
yeah.
when you grow up, they'll grow back together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I quite like it. It's kind of like being a squirrel.
Yeah.
Or,
Very
I mean,
cute.
aren't kids picked on because of that?
Yeah. My daughter had it and it was so adorable. And one day when she was in her 20s, I looked at her and go, hey, where's that gap? And it had grown together and I never noticed.
because the teeth push forwards. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, it's funny because I don't know if, well, in America, it's really funny. There's this hilarious stereotype of British people having terrible teeth.
Yeah. There
And to
is.
be honest, at least, well, not so much these days because we have more advanced dental care now, but previously it was absolutely, it definitely was true.
We did. And we still do, probably.
The Brits are not known to have the best teeth in the world. If anyone knows the film Austin Powers, you know Austin Powers?
You mentioned this stereotype when we talked about the stereotypes in a podcast.
Oh, you maybe have. So, yeah. So, well, just to remind us, there's this scene where he looks at the mirror. Austin Powers is a British spy, and he looks at a mirror, and he smiles, and he cracks the mirror with his with his smile. Yeah. Well,
I don't know what else you're going to talk about, but I had, you're talking about cosmetic.
yeah.
Are you going to be talking about decorative?
Well,
Decorative?
go on. You tell me.
So when I was in the Marine Corps, there was this guy.
I didn't even know you were in the Marine
Yes,
Corps.
I say it every podcast. I always have some Marine story. But this guy, on one of his front teeth had the outline of the state of Texas.
Yeah.
With a diamond in the middle.
Oh.
And don't ask me how he cleaned
Somehow,
it.
you know, if
the
you
lone-
hadn't mentioned the state, I would have guessed it was Texas.
Yeah.
Sounds like Texas.
The Lone
and
Star.
it's a big state anyway. Yeah. So with this, well, not a gold star. I thought it was diamond. I think it was a diamond star. But I asked him about it. I said, why do you have, an outline of the state of Texas on your, front tooth? And he said that he had gotten into trouble and it was serious trouble and he was being sentenced. And the judge said to him, well, young man, you've got two choices. You can either join the Marine Corps or you're going to prison.
Wow.
And so he decided, of course, to join the Marine Corps. And he was so grateful for this new chance. And it evidently happened in the state of Texas, that he was so grateful that he got this outline of Texas on his front tooth.
Interesting.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, any other... what do you guys think of golden teeth or these gangster rappers with...
One time I told my mom, I said, I'm going to get a gold tooth. She goes, no, you're not. And it was just to upset her, but I didn't get a gold tooth.
What is the association with golden teeth in the US?
Not good.
Is it like with some sort of like criminals or something?
Criminals or...
Gangsters.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in the Home Alone film, I can't remember if it was Home Alone 1 or 2, but one of the burglars has a golden tooth and it falls out of his mouth.
It was very common in Russia back in the day, like really common. People would have, when they needed the crown, they would put the golden crown and everything. My dad used to have like 4 or 5 golden teeth, the crowns.
Yeah.
They fell off at some moment, but well.
My mother wouldn't have liked that.
They were not at the front, so they were not really visible, but still weird.
Well, I also had a neighbor, and if you read my creative nonfiction, Alexander the Paperboy, you'd know about Rick. I had a crush on him. He actually had 2 front teeth that were silver. So I don't know why. Maybe it was just temporary, or I have no idea. It wasn't a statement like the grilling that they do now, because this was way back in the 70s. But 2 silver teeth.
But have you seen the pictures of like some different rappers these days who have all of their teeth?
Pretty fun.
Yeah, it looks so weird. They have the whole of their teeth, that are visible, They have some golden crowns or everything. They put diamonds. So basically they smile and all you can see is like shiny gold. That's it. Why?
You can be blinded by that.
On a sunny day. But yeah, it looks so
I mean,
strange.
speaking of which, because he was about to ask that, do you like it? Because for me personally, I don't know what's the beauty in it. Like,
Honestly,
maybe I'm just, traditional. I just want my pearly whites. Yeah.
Well, speaking of pearly whites, what do you think of teeth whitening procedures?
I'd go for that. I mean, who doesn't want to have...
Has anyone had any
pearly
experience
white
of teeth white? You
Well,
have?
I mean, I have. And in general, in Russia, it's pretty common and you can get that. But I think the key is get it, maybe lighter, but to a natural point. Not like, but toilet white.
Yeah, that's a little
porcelain,
excessive.
like kind of, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But this is what I noticed in here. It's also connected with like cosmetic way and everything. People install veneers.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of, they shape or saw their teeth so that, they look
File.
like... File, thank you. So they file their teeth. They have their teeth filed and then they have these veneers installed. And very often they go with like porcelain white, which doesn't look natural at all.
It doesn't look natural.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit off-putting sometimes.
And a good dentist would recommend something not...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like so common these days as well. Every time you go to a dentist, not every time, of course, but some of them would say, have you thought about veneers? Like, I don't care about them. I don't want to. Thank you very much. Because they get them, some interest from that,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really common these days in Russia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, teeth
Varya,
whitening. Yeah. Have you had any teeth whitening?
Yeah, my dentist gave me some kind of mold of my teeth, and then it's a tray. It's called a tray, and then you put the teeth whitening in, and then you put it on your teeth, and you leave it on for a couple of hours, and it's peroxide or something, and it does work. It's a gradual thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember in the US, there are also like whitening strips and everything. So you can just kind of glue, well, not glue, but stick them to your teeth for like 15, 20 minutes every day. And then you do that for 10 days. And the next time you can do it is like in a year or something.
Yeah.
But a lot of dentists say like, this is not really safe for the teeth.
Yeah, that's what my dentist said.
And it's more artificial.
Yes. And also it would leave behind some residue in your mouth, which is like you're trying to eat something and now you have to taste this chemicals, and yeah, I'd hate that. I mean, when I brush my teeth every day, I spend so much time rinsing out my mouth because I hate the taste of like leaving toothpaste in my mouth. It's, yeah. All right. So no one else. So you don't want to get teeth whitening.
No, I said I'd go
so you
for
do.
it.
Excuse me. Yeah, you do. Yep. Mm-hmm. What else can you do cosmetically to your teeth? Would you consider tongue piercing?
I mean, tongue piercing and
It's
teeth.
not really
it's
teeth.
not
Yeah,
really.
it's not really.
Actually, I have a piece of advice for those who are considering tongue piercing, because I have a friend who did that, and she has really weak teeth. Her teeth started to fall apart because it's like metal, you know.
Yeah, clinging.
Oh God.
It keeps, you know, like kicking and clicking on the teeth, so it's really bad for the teeth.
Yeah.
So don't do that if you
Yeah.
care about your teeth.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's move on to the dental industry as a whole. So you said before you don't really trust Russian dental healthcare. I mean, Ken does. What's the difference between dentistry and Russian dentistry in America?
I think out of us four, Barbara is the only one who's had some experience with.
Well, the experience, that's all I'm saying. That one dentist that I had for 25 years, you know, and I know
Wow.
he...
And at the various places you worked in America, did you have a dental plan?
No. It was always out of pocket or on my credit card. I've never had insurance.
And are dental plans really common in America?
I don't understand any of it, and yes, they are.
How much does it cost? Because I would expect it to be like so expensive. In general, I'm terrified of the prices in the US when it comes to
It is
dental
pretty
care.
crazy. Yeah. And
I mean, it is crazy here too, but not to that extent.
in England, we have quite expensive dentistry because we have the NHS, and you can get dental care through the NHS, the National Health Service, but you still actually have to pay extra for that. But you would be on a waiting list for a long time. So most people just go private. Well, not most people, but a lot of people go private in the UK. It is very expensive. What about the Philippines? What is it?
I don't think it's a thing also in my country. I mean, if we talk about dental plan, because most people, whenever they have problems with their teeth, they just go to the dentist and that's it. They pay out of their own money. And it's not like, you know, the government pays for it. I don't think we even have such a thing. No.
Yeah. Well, does the Philippines have a state-sponsored healthcare
Yes,
system?
we do. And in fact, we are all, it's mandatory to pay for it every month. But I don't,
so you have
because I work
mandatory
abroad.
health insurance. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Now we do too. I had to pay. Yeah, I had to pay as well. It was a new thing.
Oh, I did. Well, this is not Medicare or something like
No.
that. Medicare's not mandatory. Yeah. So I know in the Netherlands, for instance, you have to pay 80 euros a month and you get guaranteed state health insurance. But it's mandatory in the Netherlands. But I don't know if that covers dentistry or not.
No, ours, I mean, you could, but for the minimum that I was required to pay did not cover dentistry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what about dental tourism? Which destinations are considered places where people visit for?
Russia.
Yes.
For sure. My dentist said that before the pandemic, he used to have patients from Europe, Italy, America, even Moscow. Because it's cheaper for them to fly to Siberia and have their teeth fixed than to do it in Moscow very often.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and the quality is
In general,
really
Eastern
good.
Europe is the place to go.
Absolutely. Poland and Hungary are big destinations for dental tourism because you have a lot of people who don't want to pay the exorbitant prices in the UK. And yeah, the quality is just as good. It's just the language barrier that's quite scary. I can
And that's
imagine.
why you have to find, you know, in my case, I really took the time to find an English-speaking, you know, dentist.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know.
And how did you find
I
this
just
dentist?
saw it one time on Instagram, and then just scanning, and then one time I saw, a page, and then there was, you know, a contact there, and I said, "Hey, I wonder if you can speak English," and then he replied and said, "Perfect, I'll go to you." And
What was his English like?
I would say upper intermediate.
So did you say, come to the Big Apple school and we'll...
Oh,
You do my teeth and we'll do your brain.
I wish I had made that, you know, agreement with him or arrangement with him, but no. I mean, he's very busy. In fact, he works all days.
Yeah.
Monday to Sunday.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, it's like they have to. Was he really young? Because these young ones have to.
I suppose he's in his early 30s.
And it's really impressive that he has an upper intermediate level of English. That's not exactly an easy thing to get to. Like, how did he tell you? Did you ask him, how did you learn English.
I think it's kind of off the topic a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It was something to do with English. I mean, he went to some English courses before, and so, good for him. And good for me because I found him.
Yeah.
I mean, again, my dentist told me that when he had a patient from Italy,
Yeah.
she paid for the translator.
So there's a translator sitting there in the the surgery.
And it was still easier and cheaper than to have her teeth done in Italy.
Wow.
And there's quite a specialist or interpreter, like Italian, Russian. It's yeah, because English interpreters.
Some people do that, so they hire somebody to translate everything.
Well, I do that, but not with a professional translator, but with a friend. Whenever I go to, I mean, it's a little off topic, but whenever I do medical checkup, I need to go to the doctor, and then I take with me a friend to translate basically everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any friends, so I don't. I go by myself.
Aww.
Oh dear. Well, let's talk about dentists themselves. So, would you guys like to be a dentist?
No.
No.
Oh, I can't stand blood. I can't stand guts. I can't stand someone's mouth. No.
Absolutely.
Someone's
I'm
mouth.
on the same wave.
Well, second conditional sentence. Here we come. If it didn't take so long to
become a dentist.
Yeah, to become a dentist, I would love to become a dentist.
You would?
Yeah, you get
Why?
so much, you make so much money, and it's quite fun. And
Fun?
It doesn't take that long to become a dentist.
it does. You have to. It's like being
so
a doctor.
What? So what? Just go. Then the money pays for itself, right? I mean,
But it's 7 years or something, isn't it?
7 years. Who cares?
7 years training.
No, that's nothing. Nothing.
Well, it depends on the country because it can be really expensive to get a like a
Yeah, but you're
medical
gonna make all the
degree.
money afterwards.
And do you consider dentists to be doctors because they do have
Yes,
medical
of
degrees?
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, that's fun because some people, they don't take them seriously as a doctor. It's like, oh, the tooth doctor. They have to be qualified as a tooth doctor. But for me, I call them doctor. Just like my
It's
dentist, I
actually,
call him
Yeah.
doc.
It's
Yeah.
really fun to see, all the rivalry between the GPs and the dentists. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, the dentists, oh, the GPs.
Well, I believe for the first few years of their education, I guess they have to do the same things as doctors, no?
Not in Russia. In Russia, if you want to become a dentist, you go a separate way. All 7-8 years. That's a separate story.
But like the first or second year, you don't learn the same kind of things, like the anatomy of the body and...
I mean, you might do that, but it's still, they have their own way, so they don't study together or anything.
Yeah, I don't think they do in England. I don't think they do. But you have the dental schools, but I believe they have to...
You'd be a good dentist, I think.
You really think so?
Yeah. And calming voice, you're patient, entertaining.
I can see that.
Yes, definitely. I think it's worth it.
Well, in my next life, maybe.
Dr.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
So you'd be okay with all the blood and everything.
I'm not too
bones,
bothered by that, to be honest with you.
cutting through people's gums with a saw.
To be honest, the mouth, not really. I mean, even though I'm a little bit scared of a dentist myself, I'm not too worried about that, to be honest.
You see,
It's more-
that's the ironic part because you're afraid of dentists, yet you imagine yourself, you could be a dentist.
Yeah.
Ugh. So the very
hard
thought
to-
of
It's
that,
hard-
kind of makes me like, oh.
I mean, obviously if you ever accidentally see videos of surgery, sometimes it can be very queasy. It can make you feel a bit strange. But to be honest, I'm not too bothered by blood. I mean,
It's not only the blood. I
Yeah,
don't
and it's
know,
also the
blood.
smell too.
Yeah.
There's lots
smell,
of body
the sounds,
smell.
the
Yeah, the sights and
the sounds, yeah, they're kind of scary. The smell's not, it's whatever. It's like, yeah, you just have to deal with that. But
No.
if you take your trash out every day, then you can you can deal with that.
So, no, not my
Yeah.
thing.
I can't.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are the positive sides of being a dentist?
The money?
The money.
Yeah. First and foremost, yeah.
Well, that
Money.
shouldn't be first and foremost.
Oh,
it should be that
well.
you have this passion for teeth.
Okay. Beauty
Right?
pageant answer.
Yeah. I had a teenage student who I asked the group of teenagers, what do you guys want to be when you're older? And he immediately said, I want to be a dentist. And I was really impressed that he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And he was gearing up to study all the materials.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So you believe to be a dentist, you need to be a calming, a soothing person.
Yes.
Not to be afraid of the blood.
Yeah.
You should be
Pus.
gentle too.
Yeah.
Because you're
And
dealing with
small
somebody
hands.
else's teeth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And how much does it cost to get a dentist degree or dentistry degree in Russia?
I mean, if you're a Russian citizen, you still have a chance to study for free and, you know, have your education funded by the government. But if you don't, I mean, now it could be up to like $3,000 per year.
Yeah.
So, and then you have to study for like what, 7 years, 8 years. So it can be quite pricey.
I believe in investing in oneself.
Of course, but
I mean,
obviously
that's what doctors
within
do.
reason.
Yeah, they would
Yes.
spend like $500,000 on their med school, but then it's going to pay off first, decade.
Mm-hmm.
It costs a lot of money in my country, definitely. And that's why I wouldn't say that there are a lot of us, you know, wanting to become a dentist because firstly, you know, the money issue. And secondly, of course, the time that you have to spend. I mean, for Varya, 7 years is not long, but it's long for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about the career of being a dental hygienist? Do any of you know dental hygienists?
It's those who kind of like you go when you have.
The assistants, the one
Yeah.
that cleans your teeth.
Ah.
Yeah, the
helps with the.
So what do you need to
surgery.
do to become a dental hygienist?
No idea.
Yeah, you have to go to hygienist school.
Yeah.
And it's not for 7 years.
Yeah, what was like 1 year, 2 years?
Probably a couple of years. Plus first college and then a couple of years of hygienist school.
So it's not quite the same level as being a nurse, but
I'm not sure.
yeah.
Neither
They're
am I.
nothing like a dentist.
Mhm.
They're just cleaners.
Yeah. And do you think they would make a nice salary?
Yes, I do believe that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, definitely in America. Well, I'm not sure about Russia. Well, guys, let us know if you know any dental hygienists or if you'd like to be a dental hygienist or a dentist yourself. So do let us know in the comments. So yeah, we'll leave that there today. So thank you very much, guys. And do check out our website, www.bigappleschool.com, where you can hear more information about our courses that we offer, and you can read articles, and you can learn more about the English language through our articles. And also be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast on our social media platforms. So that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
See ya.